This episode is brought to you by the fabulous members of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com.
Hey, what the hell is going on here, Hardiman? Insubordination. Disregard for direct orders from the supervising officer. Now get back to your cage at Alvarado. I'll show you what insubordination is, son of a bitch!
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled.
I'm really off the ball. I meant to push this button.
It's your move.
Fucking it. Hello and welcome to the show where you call the shots every single week. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc.
And I can't do this again. Last week I done this and I lost the plot completely. I cannot do this again.
What's that?
Losing my words and stumbling and bumbling and fucking over everything I've done.
Take a deep breath. I mean, to be fair to you, last week we'd had a bit of a break. We had a couple of weeks off, but we're back in sync now.
Yeah.
Deep breath. You can do this. We've got a guest tonight as well, so don't embarrass yourself.
Exactly that. This is You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. We release episodes every single Monday across all podcast platforms and on YouTube. 99% of those episodes, you have picked the movie that we are reviewing. You do that on our Instagram polls. If you're new to the show, we kick off with a brief synopsis, followed by a deeper discussion about what we liked, what we didn't like. We look at specific scenes and moments that jumped out at us and share our opinions on it. Later on in the show, we give you movie facts. We do interactive features. This week, we have the return of the unbeatable quiz, Broken Spirit 2.0. If you're a new listener, it was Broken Spirit, and then Marc broke it. So we brought it back again and made it harder. From time to time, well, once a month to be more precise, we do have a guest on the show to help us with the movie discussion and break our dynamic up, because if we do this every single week, all the time, we just end up like squabbling school children. And
I like it. I'm here for it, man, to be honest.
Our guest today is a makeup effects artist and filmmaker whose work I am pretty sure you have seen, whether it's his work on The Walking Dead Worlds Beyond or A24's Civil War, or even on Disney's Haunted Mansion. The likelihood is you've seen what he's done, and you would probably seen something he's done and gone, oh shit, that's cool. Well, that's our guest. Our guest done that. Some of you will also know him for his movie, his independent film anthology movie called Elevator Pitches. And other people will know him as being a previous guest on this very show. It is our pleasure to welcome back the insanely talented Alex from AMPFX Studios.
All right. Yes. Hell yeah.
Welcome back.
Nice.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Oh man, that's such an amazing intro, man. That is so sweet of you to say. Like, thank you, man. Like, I'm stumbling over my words already.
It's true. I mean, Alex is AMPFX Studios on Instagram, on X, and like, if you are not aware of Alex, just go and have a quick scroll through his Instagram, and I guarantee within the first scroll, you're going to stop 3 times and go, oh, fuck, look at that. That's well cool. Oh, shit, that's gnarly. How the fuck did he make that? Like, that's what your page is. That is what it is.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, every job's different, you know? So every job's a different little unique little thing that you got to figure out, you know? So, but yeah, man, that's so amazing to hear you say that about it. Like, just everything.
Yeah, and also the episode you come on for YouTube and spoke about your movie. That's one of our most watched ever YouTube episodes. So yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, really cool.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're back. We wanted to get you back for ages, and there's loads of times there's been a poll, and you've messaged me like, shit, if this wins, can I come on and do that?" And then,
Yeah,
like,
I really wanted that crawl episode, but
And instead, you got this.
We'll get there. We're getting there.
I'm going to give everyone a pre-warning. Mark is in one of those moods today, and he is going to get called nasty names from me multiple times in this episode.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm cool with it. I'm pre-prepared for it. I'm just looking at the cameras right now, and I feel like me and you, Alex, we would work better. Do you remember on Super Mario Bros. 3 where you had to do that thing where you match up like the mushrooms to get the thing and then the flowers? I feel like my tash is missing from your face. And like as I scroll along of Super Mario Bros. 3, I feel like someone's got it wrong.
There we go. I've shifted you, so now you're like level. And I've done that because I can then digitally put those two together later.
There's a real inbound of the Super Mario Bros. Theme.
There is. It's happening.
Whoever can screenshot it together gets a T-shirt.
Later on in the episode, Alex is going to tell us all about what he does and give more information on where you can find him. But for now, we are going to dive into this movie, and I am going to get this synopsis without fucking it up. And I apologize. Like last week, we done Castle Freak, and I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know if it was the late start time, drunk more. I listened back to that in editing, and it was literally like, "Welcome to the where am I? What am I doing?" This week
that was a good episode, though. I enjoyed that.
You carried it. I even put it in the show notes that you carried.
Oh, did I actually?
Yeah.
That's a rare occasion for this show.
Yeah. In the urban jungle of sweltering Los Angeles, a tough cop finds himself facing a murderous, brutal killer. As the body count rises and strange clues emerges, he rises up against something that's not quite from this world, a hunter with advanced technology and deadly skills caught between warring gangs, secretive government task force, and the detective must unravel the truth before he becomes the ultimate prey. We will not be skimming over the fact that Murtaugh is just as effective without Riggs. We will not be missing the links to the 2022 Prey. And we will not be missing the fact that this is the hill Marc decided to sacrifice himself on to the listeners for pure crucifixion. Today, we are looking at Predator 2 from 1990.
Hey, I'm a predator.
I'm going to let you start this, Marc. Where do you want to start?
The thing is, I don't know where I want to start, and I don't know. I feel like I'm putting myself out there on this hill that I'm going to die on, but I don't feel like I'm prepared enough to back up my argument sufficiently enough. I watched this movie, it was dog shit, and it didn't hold my attention, and I have major issues and major beef with it. And I'm sure as we go through the episode and things start coming up in conversation, I will reignite my brain with the reasons why I dislike it so much. But I think the main starting point for me is going to be Danny Glover. This guy is not a leading man. We have just come off Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting a predator in a jungle, and now we've got to fight secondary character fucking Murtaugh trying to take on a predator. And he's not capable of doing so. And this movie doesn't do anything to amplify him in that way either. He's a very dislikable character. The only person I wanted to succeed in this movie was a fucking predator. And that is not how these movies should unfold.
I disagree. I really like his character. I like the fact that he's not just a muscle-bound freak like Arnie. Like when you put Arnie head to head with the Predator, there is a genuine kind of he's a bit bigger than you, but fuck it, you're gonna hold your own. When you put little Danny Glover against the 7-foot frame of Kevin Peter Hall, like it's like you're going to get killed.
This movie establishes very early on that this is it takes what they sort of set up in the first movie and makes it more established here that the Predator is here to take on Earth's mightiest champion. You know what I mean? This is a Mortal Kombat battle, if you will, and the Predator is seeking out the deadliest contender to take down for his trophy wall. Danny Glover is not that fucking contender, in my opinion, in the slightest. And I think, considering how heavily they focus upon that being the main through point of the storyline here, they just get it wrong from the off. You know what I mean? It's like they do this big action chase sequence at the beginning. I love 80s action movies. I grew up Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Bruce Willis, you know, Sylvester Stallone. That was all I watched. I didn't discover horror until I was in sort of like my late teenage years. So that was my wheelhouse growing up. I love those movies. And I always have this sense of nostalgia that I really love those movies. And then I watched the opening credit sequence to this, and it is heavily, heavily sort of driven on this big gun shootout action sequence. And it's so fucking messy, man. It is so messy. It is just choppy, misdirected, misedited. Everything is just so in your face. And it's just a mess, man. It's just an absolute mess. And this is supposed to be the point of the movie where it's supposed to grab your attention and set the dynamic of what's about to unfold for the next hour and 50 minutes, I might fucking mention. Hour and 50 minutes for a Predator sequel is illegal, in my opinion.
I'm going to ask Alex. Alex, where do you sit on Danny Glover being the man? Because I think he's the man.
Okay. So here, yeah, point for Scott on this one. I'm a Danny Glover guy. Like, yeah.
I like him. I like him. He's a good secondary character.
I think he carries this movie though. I think to me, he's the bright spot of this movie. But like, I mean, think about it, right? You're a predator, right? You're a predator, and you're sitting on top of it. Let's go to the opening scene, right? You're sitting on top of the building, and you're watching the gunfight happen, right? And then the first time you see Danny Glover, he comes flying in, bashing through all the cars in his car, right? Like, throws the door off of his, flies in all like badass, like take it. And the Predator's watching him do this, right? And then he's like, that guy, like, you know what I mean? That guy's badass. I'm going after him. You know what I mean?
He is badass in that sequence. I'm not going to argue with you, but the thing that pissed me off even more about that entire thing is he gets round to the actual behind. He gets behind these fucking. There is 6 of them. There is 6 of them with automatic weapons. Danny Glover gets behind them, and he turns around and he says something fucking ridiculous like, "Hey, punk," and I'm like, what are you doing? Why don't you just say, "Hey, I'm here, peekaboo"? They've got automatic weapons, and instead of simultaneously taking them out, you just say, "Hey, first one gets a shot, who wins?" And he manages to somehow, with a shotgun, a pump-action shotgun rifle, manages to wipe out 6 guys with an automatic weapon. I'm like, no, not buying it. I'm 5 minutes in. Already you've pissed me off. Fuck this movie.
However, you will take Arnie walking into a camp full of about 50 soldiers, shooting them all, and pausing midway through that battle to pin someone to a wall with a massive knife and say, "Stick around." Like, that's okay, but this is not.
I strongly advise you not to take the Lord's name in vain on this podcast.
Let's talk about something that is really good in this, and there's no dispute. Not even you can dispute this. The Predator looks fantastic. Practical effects work in this movie are on point. I mean, Alex, you're the practical effects man. You are the makeup effects artist. Like, to get to this kind of level that they created, I guess there's a huge amount of work in that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there was a whole team involved in this one. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure it was Steve Wang again, the same guy who did the first one. And because like you can kind of tell his paint job, man, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Stan Winston. It's all the same characters coming back. You know what I mean? So, and this time it seemed like they got to play around because with, you know, everybody knows the whole story of the first movie where like Van Damme did like a few scenes in that, like, you know, cockroach looking suit, the bug looking suit. And they were like, "Oh, this looks like crap. We got to change it." And then they had to scramble. Right. Whereas this one, they had full pre-production ready to go into, you know what I mean? So of course it was going to be better.
Do you think it's better?
Personally, my favorite is the original. Like, just, I love green and like lime green and that green yellow that he is. Like, the Predator is one of my all-time favorite designs. Like watching the first one is why I wanted to do makeup effects. So like this one, yeah, he's just more reds and oranges, you know what I mean? Like in browns.
I just think they get a lot of things wrong in this in terms of the use of. I don't want to dive too much in terms of Predator lore and stuff like that, but I think in terms of the showcasing of practical effects in this movie, I think they miss the step a lot of times. Sorry, there's a fly in this room that I had to try and grab. One of the things that really annoyed me most particularly is mainly focused upon that scene where he's walking on the water. Incredible scene, and it looks really, really cool. But when you focus upon that
scene,
the King Willie scene. That's right. Yeah, that scene in particular. I focused heavily upon that a lot. There's a lot of scenes in that where they focus upon the back of the Predator's legs as he's walking across the water, and you can clearly see that he's wearing some sort of latex tights. That annoyed me, firstly. Yeah. Secondly, annoyed me is the fact that the Predator's reflection in the water, even though he's invisible, showcases the actual Predator without his invisibility. Now, I'm not a man of intelligent science level, but I understand physics on a basic level, and I understand how light reflection and retraction works. And I know that if the Predator was invisible walking across the water, then his reflection would also contrast that and would be the same. So when he's walking across the water, you wouldn't see the Predator in full suit. Like, I'm not no alien technology expert, but I understand the basic science that applies to Earth. And that annoyed me massively straight away. Did you guys pick up on that scene?
Yeah, it didn't bother me.
No, but fuck you, Scott. Alex, it really pissed you off, though, didn't it? Alex, it really pissed you off, didn't it, man?
It didn't piss me off, but it was one of those, why can we see him? Why can we see him? And then it cuts to the, and then he's giving jazz hands, right? And then he's still cloaked. And you're like, well, why isn't he decloaked? Like, you know what I mean?
One thing that I did like in terms of like the infrared stuff that they do in this movie, which I'm not 100% sure without going on a rewatch for the first one, is the use of bullets as they come out of the gun. Do you know if they're firing automatic weapons or handguns? You see the shells pop out of the actual gun. I don't remember that being a thing in the first movie, but every time you see the infrared view from the Predator in this movie and someone shooting a gun in his direction, you see the shells popping out because obviously they're hot. And I thought that was a really, really nice touch that this movie implied that I don't remember being in the first film at all. And I can you guys remember that? Is that a thing? It can't be for me to draw so much attention to it from this watch on the sequel.
No, you're not wrong, because I'm trying to remember specific spots like when the Predator would be looking at them while they're firing their weapons in the first one, right? You know what I mean? Because like when they're firing into the jungle and stuff, you don't ever see that from his point of view on the other end of it. You know what I mean? And I don't think they're ever like shooting at him, are they?
No, well, I mean, there's scenes where like they're shooting into like the jungle and stuff like that, and
but does he ever
he's sort of up in the tree looking down, watching them just open fire.
Okay.
Especially that particular scene where they just literally obliterate the rainforest for 10 minutes.
Does he?
And I don't remember the shells.
Does he see them doing that?
Yeah. You see it from his perspective in the infrared, but again, I can't remember if you see the shells coming out of them. I don't think you would have done that because it was such a thing in this movie where I focused on it so heavily. I was like, oh, that's really fucking clever that they've implied it on this movie. That I know for a fact, for me to even think that they can't have done it in the first one. I'll have to go back and check. I don't think it's a quotable line from me to use in this episode, but I do feel like it's something strongly that they didn't use in the first film that looked really cool here.
You hate this movie. Nothing in this episode is quotable from you.
No. Literally, that's my highlight reel. That is my highlight reel. If you were going to compile everything that I have positive to say about this movie, that was your 5 minutes there.
Story-wise, I kind of like this, that you're following Danny Glover while he's trying to solve why all these murders are happening. He's trying to infiltrate these gangs and work out what's going on in these gangs. And at the same time, the Predator is just following him around. Not taking him out straight away. He's basically doing recon. He's going and watching him, and he's keeping a check on him. And while he's doing this, he's also killing loads of people because, hey, he's here. Why not? The scene in the apartment where you get the gangs come together and you've got the naked girl jumping around and the other gang leader. The Predator in that scene is fantastic. I love that scene where they're all kind of like, like he starts picking them off, and then you get that scene where he lifts someone with the claw while he's invisible. It's like, that's cool. Like that whole segment, I think, is brilliant, and the aftermath is even better when they come in and he's skinned and hung. We saw a brief bit in the first Predator movie, but this is like in a posh apartment, like evenly spaced, skinned, hung, dripping people. It looks great.
But why? Explain to me why.
Because that's what he does.
A cool scene. It's a cool. No. That's not what he does. That's my point. That is not what the Predator does. That is not the point of the Predator. We have literally just cut away from his mission, which is to fight Danny Glover as Earth's mightiest foe, to some random apartment building with some Jamaican gang lords where they're making some weird cult crucifixion. Again, it ties in and it comes full circle to Danny Glover's mission. But why the fuck is a Predator there in the first place? It has no reasoning, no right to be there. It is just a Predator taking out a load of gang lords so it looks cool on screen. It's got no purpose for his mission to fight Danny Glover. What the fuck?
Okay. I can't hold this in any longer. Okay. I was going to save it for my roundup or whatever, but I need to say, okay.
Come at me.
This Predator is like the Meg from freaking Family Guy. Like, okay, like, so it's spoilers, he dies at the end, right? Like Danny Glover kills him, and then his boys all come around, and then like they stand there and they look at Danny Glover, and then they like pick him up and take him off or whatever, and they just let Danny Glover leave. They're like, oh, like these guys were out just on they were out having a boys' night, right? And then this Predator just kept going off and doing his own thing. You know what I mean? Like going to the thing and was like killing. And they're like, dude, we're already done. We got our trophies. Let's go home. And he's all like, no. I want to go get Danny Glover. And they're like, nah, man, hurry up. Let's go. Because he could have killed Danny Glover 15 times in this movie, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He just walks in like Michael Myers for some reason, and he plays with him. Like he even leaves Danny's necklace for him to like mess with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just.
But that's fan fiction, man. That's fan fiction. That's not in the movie. That's just your perception of it. Like the script is dog shit. The script is dog shit, and you've in your mind concocted a story that makes it make sense. This Predator he's a fumbling, bumbling like I don't know, man. This Predator like is probably my least favorite Predator, but I like the movie. If you know. Yeah, I mean, I will convert you both by the end of this episode. This film is shite, and I promise you I will make you both see it.
About buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face.
Don't even get me started on buttered sausage, man, because we don't have enough time in the day for me to deal with this situation either, all right?
Gary Busey in this movie plays the FBI guy. He's the Secret Service guy who the Secret Service are aware of the Predator, and they are trying to lure the Predator to effectively a meat factory so they can catch it and experiment on it. And I like that. I think that concept is really cool, that the government are aware and they know that it's happened before. I know in an earlier version of the script, Dutch was meant to be in hospital being treated for radiation poison, and Danny Glover character was going to go and meet him, and he was going to give him advice on how to overcome the Predator. But that was cut when Arnie went, no, not coming back. But I like the fact the government are aware. I'm not a huge Gary Busey fan. If anyone listened to me on our Ginger Dead Man 1 or 2 episode, I slandered that man something terrible. But in this, he puts in a shift. His performance in this, I actually like. He plays arsehole very, very well.
Yeah, he does play the bad guy very, very well. And you mentioned about the meat factory thing. They don't try to lure him there. This is one element of the script that I actually really enjoy, is the fact that they know his cycle and they know that he goes to this meat factory to feed. That's a feeding ground for him. And like the stuff that they do at the end where they like fucking douse it in nitrous oxide to freeze it so you can't see and stuff like that shit is fucking awesome. The last half an hour of this movie is fantastic and one hell of a way to go out and fucking cloak all the nastiness that had come before it. So I do like the last half an hour. I digress. We're talking about Gary Busey. Yeah, fuck Gary Busey, man. He's a dick. He's a dick in this, and he's a dick in every movie he's been in. I hate him. I hate his fucking stupid large teeth. I don't like him in this movie whatsoever. He doesn't deserve to be here. And the thing is, if you'd have cast anybody else, just an ordinary guy, as a normalized villain, it wouldn't be so cartoonish. And the cartoonish elements of this sequel are what ruins it. The scene where Danny Glover gets in the car with a fucking Rastafari, mate, and they're all smoking the biggest joints you've ever seen in your life. I was like, oh, seriously.
I love that.
No, it is ridiculous, man. Like, we're coming off the back of the original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the fucking coolest action movies of all time. And this is what we've come to in a matter of years. And it just annoyed me. And, right, who's the guy?
That car pulls up. That car pulls up next to Danny Glover. They pull up. They open the door. The waft of smoke comes.
I say, I don't like cricket.
Don't get me wrong, that car journey looked like it would be a cool ride to get to where he's going.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking overtly comical, and it's just out of place in the seriousness that is the tone that started this film with the high fucking intensity shootout action scene. And then you get this slapstick level comedy fucking Rastafari joint smoking gangsters that pull up. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, where is the cemented tone in this movie? Because there doesn't seem to be one. And it's like the guy from Aliens, the only guy who's been killed by a Predator, Terminator, and an alien. What's his name?
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. I didn't think I could fucking hate Bill Paxton any more than what I hated him. I like Bill Paxton as a guy. R.I.P. Bill Paxton. Sure is sound dude. But listen to me. Wow. That guy was infuriating in Aliens. He had his redemption in Aliens, don't get me wrong, and I loved him at the end of Aliens, and his sacrifice was fantastic. He got his redemption arc in Aliens. In Predator 2, that guy is fucking insufferable. Actually insufferable from start to finish. And as soon as he died, I clapped in my chair, and I was like, thank fuck, this guy is no longer on the screen anymore. What an infuriating piece of shit he is throughout this movie. And the decision to make him bounce a fucking golf ball like he's Rocky from Rocky 1. Like, what is this movie, guys?
Alex, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about Bill Paxton, because Bill Paxton is an absolute legend. And at the moment, this is Marc.
I'm in danger.
I told you guys I was coming in hot this week, and I meant it.
So where are you on Bill Paxton in this? I love Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I think he's pretty great in this movie. Like, because okay, yeah, he's a loudmouth, crass asshole, right?
Yeah.
But when Danny Glover sets him down and he's like, "Hey, man, I don't want any of that cowboy shit here. You know, like, we're all about the team here. You know." And then like you see it in his eyes because he's a good enough actor to where he switches it and he's like, "Yes, sir." And then when he gives him an order, he does his thing. Like, yeah, he's loudmouth, crass, but like I'm just like, you know what? He's a good guy. And then at the end, dude takes on the Predator with a freaking machete, right? And then the Predator likes him enough and can like takes his head as a trophy. So
Yeah.
you know,
that subway segment as well.
Yeah, like Bill Paxton went out like a freaking G, man. Like, yeah, he ended up throwing a golf ball at him, right? Like,
yeah,
but he goes at him with a freaking machete. Right? Like,
yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool.
I wouldn't.
Did you just tell me that subway scene was cool? Did you just tell me
that subway scene is directly ripped from the comic books, and it is almost shot for shot identical, and it's brilliant.
What was it? Fucking seizure inducing in the comic books as well? Because I tell you now, man, I nearly passed out twice trying to get myself through this fucking 30-segment scene. It honestly, it is just flash, 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 flash. I like the build-up, and I like that all the residents on the train are all like panicked, so they're all carrying guns because of the crime wave that's happening, and the gangs come up and stuff like that, and they all draw their weapons. Awesome shit. I love that. Then all of a sudden, just because. Why not? Let's just make it strobe heavy for the next fucking 10 minutes to the point where anybody's watching it is about to die from a seizure. Mate, it was not enjoyable at all. I was really, really struggling with it.
Here's my thing. How did he get to that subway so fast?
Why did he get to that subway? He's supposed to be hunting Danny Glover. Does everybody forget the objective of this movie?
The scene before that is when he gives him the necklace, right? He's in the graveyard visiting Danny's like grave, and he gives him the necklace, and the very next scene is the subway scene, and you're like, well, how did he teleport there? He's got some Jason Voorhees teleportation powers in this one, you know what I mean?
But then he jumps through the ceiling of the train, and like, why?
How did he get there?
I don't even care how he got there. I just want to know why the fuck he's there in the first place. There's no reason to be there.
Right?
He's trying to isolate exactly the same the way the first Predator did. He's isolating his target. So in the first Predator, the Predator took out every single person before he took out Dutch. In this movie,
which works perfectly in a confined space, like the jungle aspect, where it's a condensed group of people isolated in a jungle environment. It doesn't work in this setting, and I think that's my biggest issue, is the fact that they have based this in a concrete jungle, pun intended, because that's a game, Predator concrete jungle. It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work in such a wide-scoped area with a high-density population for me. I just think there are so many situations throughout this movie that make little sense based on the characters' objectives. Had this had been based in somewhere isolated, like, I don't know, say, for instance, the characters that we're following throughout this movie found themselves in an abandoned prison. The Predator had landed in the prison, and he was wiping them out one by one to finally leave Danny Glover as his final kill. Perfect. And I get what they're trying to do throughout the movie by wiping out his closest associates. That just leaves him there and then.
Yeah.
But the vast scope of distance between the characters and the amount of population between them in between, it doesn't work. It just doesn't make sense to me. In any situation, he has Danny Glover there and then, and there is multiple times throughout this film where they could have had the final battle within the first 20 minutes. But instead, the script is so poorly written that they find reasons to separate them and isolate characters so the Predator can take them out. But there's no reason to do that, because all you're doing is just bloating the script. And that's what this movie felt like to me, was just a heavy blow of writing in order to get to the final act, which I like the final act, but the reason to get there feels very misguided.
Before we get to the bloated act, and I don't think Marc has blown up enough on this episode, and I know there's something he specifically said to me in messaging when he was watching this movie that riled him to the point he was so angry. I got like, you know, when someone writes you a message in Messenger and you run out of space and then you get an extra bit? I got one of those. And that scene in particular is all around the Voodoo King.
Voodoo!
Marc, I'm not going to let Marc say anything. Marc, drink your beer. Alex, where are you on King Willie? Because I think King Willie is cool as fuck. He's so slick, and he's like, it comes for you. No, you must leave. Fuck off. But he's just so like, he gives Danny Glover absolutely no information. Just, he comes from the netherworld. You can't do anything about it. Bye.
It gives him wrong information. Information. He's like, he's on the other side. And you're just like, no, he's not, man. He's literally there. You know what I mean?
He's sat on the wall behind you, watching you live.
He's up there looking at you guys for some reason. Like, no, terrible wig, by the way.
Yeah, awful wig.
But the snap cut. You know, this is going back to the scene where you're talking about when he's walking across the puddles and you see his, you know, his footsteps, and then for some reason you can see his reflection in the water, but you can't see him. Whatever, that aside, King Willie goes out like a G2, right? With his freaking sword cane, you know, and then that cut of him walking away with the head, that's pretty freaking cool. That's like, I remember that as a kid, like seeing that like pretty young age, being like, oh my God, that was awesome. It's like the Billy. It's kind of like the Billy fight from the first movie, right? Where like you don't see the fight happen, but you know it was badass. You know at least Billy. You know Billy like gave him something. You know what I mean?
And I think the same with King Willie, where King Willie sort of pauses, he sees the water, and he's scared, but he just sort of pulls the cane out. He's like, well, let's fucking have it. We're here. Let's get on. And like Predator, in this one, that's the fight I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to have seen Willie take like chunks out of him with this cane sword and then get killed. I want, and the same with Billy. Like, I wanted to see Billy kick the fuck out of the Predator for 3 minutes on the massive log before the Predator ended him. And yeah, the choice to leave that out in both movies is frustrating.
I don't hate it in the first movie though. Do you know why? Because I think Billy is on par with Arnie in my opinion. In that first movie, and I think they do a good job of showcasing the Predator's stealth, and I think the fact that Billy dies so quickly and so instantaneously in that moment only amplifies the threat of the Predator in the first movie. In this sequel, I don't think they do a good enough job of establishing how impactful King fucking Willie is in this movie.
That's your nickname in the bedroom. Don't pretend like you don't know.
I don't think they do a good job of building up his character enough to showcase it in a similar sort of fashion.
Right, yeah, you don't know if King Willie's a badass, right? Like you don't know.
No, you don't.
He is, yeah.
No, but you know in the first movie that Billy is the fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like he is the one that he's a loose cannon. He's a machete of that movie where you're like, I don't want to piss that guy off. So when you get to see him dispatched so easily in that instant in that movie, I know it's a cutaway and we might have had more of a battle than we actually are alluded to in the film, but the fact that he is taken out in that moment amplifies the intensity of the Predator and his kills. So when you get to the final battle with Arnie at the end, it is more of a threat in my opinion. Here, we don't get that character build up with King Willie. We just get some dude who looked like he'd walked off the set of Mad Max fucking Dirty Road or whatever those films are called with dreadlocks. He fucking scatters some chicken bones on a fucking oil drum. And that pissed me off as well. It's like, no matter what I do, man, it's always the same. I was like, you fucking throw those chicken bones again. I bet they land different, bitch. That pissed me off. Minor gripes. I know I'm nitpicking here. But that annoyed me. I was like, throw them again. Throw them again. I dare you to throw them again. And I bet they're different.
Also, let's go back a little bit. Think about how high Danny Glover is standing there watching that happen.
He's like, this never happened. This is just Danny Glover stoned out of his mind.
The whole ride. Even if he wasn't smoking in there, that was, like they didn't crack a window for that guy.
No, that was an intense trip. When he got out of there, he was like,
that's why he didn't even ask questions, right? Like he was just like, all right, and just left. He was like, all right, he's telling me to leave. I'm leaving. Like,
before I leave, if I don't suppose you've got like a bag of Doritos in your jacket. Like, I'm kind of really hungry right now. Danny Glover has a couple of interactions with the Predator. We get the scene where they end up sort of hanging on the roof, and he steals his weapon, his glaive or whatever it is. Like, I want to ask about the final fight. Like, it's the one bit of the movie that, even as a real big fan of this movie, I struggle to digest the swiftness and efficient way that Danny Glover dispatches an intergalactic hunter with a weapon he's never used before. This is the one bit of the movie that I go, you needed to beat Danny Glover up more, like maybe chop off an arm or chop off a foot or do something to make me feel that he fought for it. It was very much like, right, let's have it. And 2 seconds later, Danny Glover's like, well, that's you done. Thanks.
Right. If you think about it, the Predator is running from him the whole time. From that meat packet, he pumps him full of lead, right? And he thinks he's dead. He goes over and he takes his mask off. And then that's when you get the you're one ugly motherfucker line from between both of them, right? Right. Yeah, that sucked. The effect on that, I wasn't a fan of. His hole in his mouth just looked, but so the Predator is already like screwed up royally. He's, and like, cause he wasn't cloaked at that point. So he took all of those slugs, right? The next scene, you see him, he's sitting there with the rebreather thing, right? Or is that after he chops his arm off?
No, that's before. But I do like the rebreather thing. I think that's a cool touch. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, so the Predator shows that the Predator is so wounded that he's like sitting there and he's panicked, right? He's like, sucking air, right? And then he's running.
But it was the scene in the meatpacking factory that really pissed me off in particular. Also, right, guys, what the fuck is with the weapons in this movie? Why does Danny Glover walk around in Los Angeles like he's got a fucking space gun?
It takes place in 1997, I think. It takes place, right? And so that's like 7 years in the future, right? Because it came out in like what, 80, or they've shot in 89. It came out in 90. I think.
90. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. That makes a little bit more sense to me now watching it in 2025. I'm watching it in hindsight thinking, really, what the fuck are these weapons that you guys are using? Well, they've all got like these stupid laser tags on them, and they look like they've gone from Men in Black. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
okay.
I think that was just them just being like, oh, hey, 10 years
doing the whole Back to the Future thing.
Yeah, we'll have laser scoped 6-shooters for some reason.
Right. That makes more sense to me now, and I can forgive its sins for that.
Yeah. Well, if you notice how they were all dressed too, they were all dressed like they're in like a neo-noir type looking movie, like 1930s. Like they're all in baggy, like
the silver condom jumpsuits.
Oh yeah, those were stupid. The Dio, they look like they were in Devo or something.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting to the end now, and we're kind of getting towards that final act. And if not, we're already there anyway. Let's talk about this, because I actually enjoy this. I actually do like this closing segment of this movie, particularly the sort of, what are those fucking dudes in bubble wrap from Dude, Where's My Car? Zoltar. Or whatever it is. Zoltar. The Zoltar dudes, and that's it. There we go. He's just popping bubble wrap on them. The Zoltar dudes at the end of this movie, I actually quite liked. I like the way that they have this mission where they're going to trap him, and not only because this is his feeding ground, they've adapted his feeding ground knowing that he's coming back here and they're going to contain him within this unit, which is really, really cool. They pump it with all the nitrogen to hide his... And they have a lot of insight to this predator. They know how he hunts. They know what his repeat patterns are. And I thought that was really, really cool to explain to us as an audience that there's somebody sort of scoping this guy out, stealthing it the way that the predator stealths its predator, but we're doing it on a more humanistic level. And I thought that was really cool to do that and showcase that. I don't particularly like the way that the guys have the flashlights and that just gives them away. And Danny Glover's like, yeah, you can see your light, 10 it off, 10 it off. They would instantly know that a torch gives off heat signatures. Like, they've gone to all this effort to sort of map this out so perfectly. No, and then it's like, we'll just go in with standard torches.
No. The predator changes his... So he's seeing in heat vision, and the heat vision doesn't pick it up because they're using UV light, which doesn't emit heat because it's not a heated lamp. And then he flicks through different settings so he can find something that he can see, because he knows there's something there, but he can't see it.
Yeah,
he can hear the
I didn't know that. Okay.
So he's flicking through, so it goes from like heat, and then it goes like infrared, and then it goes through all these different things, and he ends up on the UV setting where he can see the torch beam, and he's like, motherfuckers, you're here. You're just using UV. I know where you are now. You're all dead now. Like a minute ago.
Okay, I apologize on that part then, because I didn't notice that. All right, I'll excuse its sins on that segment then. But
there was a moment where the predator's like, I'm fucked because I can't see anything, and then all of a sudden he went, oh, you're all dead. You're pretty clever, but you're dead now.
Yeah, but it was just that it was the easiness of Danny Glover blowing a hole in the wall, and then just like instantly wiping out his laser gun and damaging all his armor so he couldn't go invisible on it anymore. I was like, that's so fucking convenient given how much of a stealthy predator this guy actually is. And it just instantly wipes him out. And bear in mind, Danny Glover does this by accident. It's not like he was instantly seeking out, like, I'll hit him in this point here, I'll hit him in that point there. No, he just shoots a ray of bullets and manages to wipe out not only his invisibility cloak, but his main focus of armor fucking weaponry on his shoulder just goes within that second. So that annoyed me.
They reuse the same shot when that happens too. Did you notice that, or were you paying attention?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, I did.
So when he just comes in and sprays, right? There's like the same shot of the bullets hitting him in the head, and like the predator just kind of like doing like this. They just reuse the same shot back to back of him like reacting the same.
Yeah, he does a double dip as he gets like hit like here, and he sort of goes, ugh. Oh,
The same exact shot. Like it cuts to back to Danny Glover for a second, and then boom, back to him, and it's the same. Like, like,
one thing I
Yeah,
really like is I like so when you get to the very closing of this movie, and he's dispatched this rogue predator who's not doing what he should be on the boys' night, and he's just killing everyone, and you get the other predators come out. I really like that they establish it in this movie better than any other, that the predators have a pecking order and a hierarchy, and there is a level of honor to what they do. So these three massive fucking predators come in armed to the teeth, look at the guy on the floor and go, well, he died. Well, you won. In our culture, because you won, we're going to take him away and we're going to give you a gift. Here's your gift. And then they just walk away and they're like, he's almost like, right, we're going now, so you need to fuck off. And I like the fact that they didn't attack it. And I like the fact that Danny Glover held his ground. And also they hand him the that we see in Prey, which is a brilliant tie into Prey. Like this whole very end segment gives so much insight into the way that the predators work as a species and how their hierarchy is. I absolutely love this. There's so much lore building in 15 seconds of film, more so than there is in the entirety of this movie and the entirety of the first movie. We learn more in this sort of 2-minute scene than we've ever learned before, and I think that's incredible.
Yeah, the lore building in this movie is, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
It's crazy. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we haven't really talked about it. Well, I guess we're at that point now, but the xenomorph skull in the trophy room, right?
Oh, I'm not done, mate. I'm circling back about 15, 20 minutes before he wraps this up. Don't worry.
But yeah, that like being the first time, I'm pretty sure that's the first time Alien vs. Predator is like teased.
It is.
Then the comics are like shortly after. The lore building and the world building for this movie.
Oh, this scene in the fucking spacecraft at the end is fucking impeccable, man. It's really, really, really cool. I love the way that the predators come in at the end, and it's almost like it's like a gladiatorial thing, you know, like it's like we put our fiercest warrior through, he was defeated, you were the champion, you may now go free, you know, like there's no harm going to come your way. Like that's fucking fantastic. I love that stuff, you know, that it was really well established and not a single ounce of dialogue was used within that, and everybody knew exactly what was happening within those scenes, and I was like, that's fucking incredible, you know, really, really well handled. But let me know when you're ready to circle back.
Well, we're not going to circle back. I'm going to make you save it for your sound roundup, because if we do circle back, this episode is going to be stupidly long. So unless anyone's got a tiny point they want to touch on, we're going to rock.
Yeah, I've got a tiny point. I can wrap it up real quick.
I got a tiny point that'll be quick too.
You go first, Alex.
Yeah, Alex
we got to compare.
Mine's not going to be a tiny point, but I'll tell him what he needs to hear.
We got to compare the him patching himself up scenes, right? Between the first one and the second one. This one is so much freaking cooler. Like this one is so much freaking cooler. When he cuts his arm off and then he goes into that woman's bathroom and he's like crumbling up the drywall for some reason and like sets it on fire.
But again, totally, that's just not fucking. It's like so comical with the neighbor and like, oh, there's someone in our bathroom. It's just fucking stupidly totally off.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry, I'm a cop, and she's like, I don't think he gives a shit.
The predator burst through the wall like a Kool-Aid man. I'm like, what the
freaking
fuck,
Wile E.
man?
Coyote, right? But no,
it's stupid.
Cool, like him, like you know,
and he fucking cauterizes his arm and stuff. It's fucking fantastic. And I'm going to jump in and just chip in with my bits, which is similar to what you're doing now. The scene where he cuts his arm off is just so fucking undigestible that I can't even fathom it. That ruins the end of the movie for me. The Predator in the first movie literally fucking detonates an atomic bomb that wipes out a fucking 4 or 5 mile wide radius. In this movie, the Predator literally detonates the same bomb. We are dealing with the countdown. Danny Glover, a human, manages to pull a fucking scepter from a buried in concrete, which, no offense, nobody could do that. This is like the fucking King Arthur sword out the stone kind of shit, where he manages to just easily pull this fucking thing out of the side of this concrete wall. and then he dissects the Predator's arm. I have no issue with him dissecting the Predator's arm. My issue is the fact that this is an atomic fucking bomb on his arm. Now, if the bomb squad went in, if the bomb squad, don't interrupt me, if the bomb squad went in to a bomb in a building and instead of cutting the red and yellow wire, they took a fucking sledgehammer to a bomb, it would explode. It would wipe it out. And instead, Danny Glover just slices a bomb in half and that's it. It's just done. Don't worry, we'll deal with it. And again, I'm going to keep going before you interrupt me because I know you're going to try and cut me off. Buttered Sausage comes back and looks cool as shit with his fucking burnt ass Freddy Krueger face. And I'm like, yeah, fucking Buttered Sausage. I'm finally behind you now. Wipe this guy out. Let's do this shit. And he just gets killed off behind some fucking punching bag cow that fucking Rocky Balboa punches in the second movie. And I'm like, what is the point? What is the point in spending all that time and effort in making him look so fucking cool with his Freddy Krueger face and we're going to have this big final showdown just to have some sort of comedic moment where he's killed off screen and just dissected in half? Not only that, it pissed me off that he was dissected in half and his bottom half fell to the floor. And where the fuck did the top half go? He was just floating the entire time. Where did the bottom half go? Why didn't that fall to the floor with him? This movie's dog shit. I'm done. Boom. End.
Where did the top half go? Where did the top half go?
Mark,
thank you, Alex. I love you, man.
All I've got to say to you, Mark, is this.
This is the comedy police. The joke's too funny.
Fuck this movie. I hate you all.
Well, let's move on. Mark, it's time for recommended account of the week. I don't think I've got you a tune. I tell you what, you can have.
I say I don't like cricket.
Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face.
So this week's recommended account is Scullio_GB. Scullio_GB is an arts and crafts shop, handmade in Scotland, dark decor for the curious and the cursed, skull frames, spider lace art, and creepy crayons. Dare to decorate differently? I do indeed. This is an account that features a lot of handcrafted artwork that you would put in your home, 3D prints, stuff like that. Imagine if you took a photo frame and then inserted a 3D object in it, such as a skull or a spider or something like that. I'm really underselling it. This is a really cool Gothic account, and if you were thinking of redecorating your home in Gothic attire, this would probably be one account that I would recommend you go and check out in terms of the stuff that they've created. It's really, really cool. It would look fantastic in most people's homes. Unlike me, if you have a wife who makes you keep your horror shit locked in a particular room, I might decorate the office in some of the shit she's got up for grabs. But the stuff they're selling is really, really good. It's really, really clever, and I think the account is very, very talented, and I think all of you should go and check it out. Scullio_GB on Instagram.
I've heard about these things. I wish I could have done a lot of these. I haven't had the money to ever do it.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be like bonus episode that we could film throughout the following winter.
Join LK the Horror Nerd and Yanni as they give you the Horror Nerd experience. Thrills, chills, jump scares and more coming your way on every single episode.
Hello everyone and welcome to another riveting edition of Under the Floorboards, where we laugh at the creatures that go bump in the night. I am your host John, joined as always by my beautiful co-host Eric. How are you this week?
Feel slightly left of center.
Well, why not join John and Eric as they bring you continuous laughter as they look at the creatures that go bump in the night, chased by a creep, hunted by Nazis, or descending into the darkness of the inferno. They're going to bring you all of that and more. These fabulous shows and many more are all available at yourunpodcast.com, your home of entertainment. So make sure you check out Mark's recommended account. Also, all of the members of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com. You can find us on all social media. We're at You Run Podcast. We're really, really easy to find. And by finding us on any of those social medias, you can get involved in the show in interactive features, voicemails. And if you go to Instagram at You Run Podcast, you can vote for the movies that appear on this show every single week. While you're on Instagram, go and follow Mark. He is at VHS from the Crypt, where he just hit 8,000 followers. Well done.
balling,
Yeah.
absolute baller. That's what
Flying.
I'm saying right now.
Absolutely flying. You can also
I
follow.
don't know. It's pathetic, in it. We're like, yay! He's in it. He's silly. He's silly. When we're talking about first world problems, it's like, yay! Like, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the support. But in hindsight, it's like we're just all fucking featuring on a Black Mirror episode.
We are. You can also follow Mark at Reviews from the Crypt, where he shares his opinions on the best and the most bargain bin VHS bullshit tapes that were thrown in a dumpster 30 years ago. Someone found one copy and digitized it, and Mark will review that. He shares his opinion on those movies more than gold.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can share your opinions on us or the movies we cover by sending us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, or recording us an audio DM on X or Instagram. Or if you're one of those TikTok people, you can create a TikTok and tag us in it, and we'll take that entire TikTok and put your face and your account and everything on the show for everyone to see as well. We really want you to support the show. There's loads of ways you can do it. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. That's the easiest, freest way, and you can do it while you're listening to me ramble. You can do that right now. You can also comment on an episode if you're on Spotify or on YouTube. That really helps us. If you want to drop some cash our way, we are not going to say no. We are definitely not going to say no because, hey, this show needs money. That's just simple as it is. It's expensive to run this. We have merchandise.
Merchandising.
YouRunPodcast.com. Click on shop. You'll find a whole selection of various different slightly offensive horror t-shirts that you can wear to visit your nan and get interrogated. They're those sort of shirts. So yeah, head over to our website and get some of those as well. Also coming soon, if you don't like listening to me tell you about all the ways you can support the show, you won't have to because our Patreon is being launched. You'll be able to have ad-free content on the cheapest tier. So that's coming very soon. So you can take away all this bit where I tell you all about our merch shop and I tell you all about the ways that you can support us. And I show you images of our t-shirts like these ones here. Self-confessed gore whore. My kinks make the Cenobites nervous. I love horror movies and also two people. There's loads. Yeah, if you don't want to listen to this, Patreon is coming very, very soon. I need the voiceover guy. We need someone who could do voiceover guy for our Patreon. Coming this summer. Patreon.
That would be awesome.
If anyone's got that big booming voice and wants to record a coming this summer Patreon ad for us, send it to me and I'll drop it into the episode.
You're talking about we have Dave. Dave could do that in a second.
No, imitation. As soon as we're done, I'm messaging Dave. I want it done before this episode is out, so he's on top of it. Let's do some facts.
We're going deep and we're going hard.
I hope you live up to that now.
This film was incredibly difficult to film. So they filmed this in a really rough neighborhood. So the rough neighborhood in LA, they actually went, we need a rough neighborhood. We haven't got enough for a rough neighbor. We'll just go film in a really rough neighborhood. So they dealt with large rats. They dealt with residents screaming at the film crew, throwing bottles and paper bags filled with feces. They also, in the alley scene where they filmed with Big Willie, before they filmed with Big Willie, they found a dead body and had to call the police to have the dead body removed. This was not a pleasant set to work on at all.
That's wild.
Insane. Like, you imagine going into work, like they had personal security for all of the actors. They had security for the crew. They had police on call and they turn up to their set like, right, we're going to film. And you imagine Willie's there going, excuse me, there seems to be something in the big bags over here. Is this a prop? Is this like poking it with his cane? Like, is this meant to be here? Like, it's insane.
Your Willie impression is diabolical, by the way.
I don't want to do any sort of Jamaican style accent at the risk of being incredibly offensive, man. I'll upset everyone.
Wagwan, man, the dead body in the alleyway, man. Come on, how can we film these scenes, boy?
Yeah. We just got canned.
I've had a few beers. I do apologise.
It's our last episode. We'll go with a bang. Danny Glover was offered the role to play the main character, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to do it initially. He wanted to be a black leading man in that role, and even he had doubts that he could deliver it how it needed to be delivered. And it wasn't until the director, Stephen Hopkins, basically said, look, at the end of the day, the studio doesn't want you. The studio are telling me that you are not the right choice for this. I want a black actor to lead this. If it's not you, it's going to be someone else. And if this is a hit, you're going to fucking miss out. And Danny Glover apparently then went and thought about it and went, you know what? I should do this, because if I don't, the chances are the studio will win and they'll cast some muscly white boy again like they did in the first one.
Do you know what the thing is about that statement? I don't even think it's about race, in my opinion. No. I just don't think Danny Glover was the right fit for this role. And I don't want it to be a conversation about race, and I don't want it to be that kind of conversation. I just don't think he was a very good fit. I don't think he's action man status. He's secondary character, which he's established in the Lethal Weapon franchise. He's fucking phenomenal in those movies, but he knows his place within that role.
Have you ever seen Riggs take out a Predator? Thought not. Anyway, moving on.
No, but they should have cast Riggs. And that's not because he's a white Australian man. That's just because he's a better, stronger, more confident leading actor than Danny Glover is, you know? I don't think it's anything to do with race. I just don't think the actual actor himself was suffice enough. If you'd have, what's the guy, Apollo Creed? Apollo Creed, guys. Carl Weathers. If Carl Weathers had been the leading actor in this movie, that would have been more digestible for me. And that's not because that's not race thing, you know what I mean? I just think as an actor, especially as a black actor, I think Carl Weathers would have carried this movie a hell of a lot better than Danny Glover did. Danny Glover falls in the same category as me as Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves and Danny Glover are one in the same person, because Keanu Reeves can't run for shit. He has the weirdest run I've ever seen on TV, and Danny Glover has the weirdest run I've ever seen on fucking TV as well. They have this weird run where they just don't look able, and then you put them in movies where they're supposed to be the leading action star, and they just can't fulfill it because they just look odd. They look odd. Keanu Reeves in John Wick, when he's running, he looks like he's got like half a foot, and it's weird. And the same thing can be said for Danny Glover in this movie as well. It's not right. He's not a leading man, and he's not a leading action star.
John Wick's got like 4 bullets in him at that point. He's been ran over by 17 cars. Like,
bullshit, man. I've seen him try to take out a bus in Speed, man. He still runs like he's got half a foot. The guy can't run, and neither can Danny Glover. The dudes cannot carry action movies.
I will get through these facts if it kills me. The Jamaican Voodoo Posse gang that Marc took issue with because he thought it was just pointless them being there, they were based on real gangs that were active in and around the late 80s in this area. When they cast the Jamaican gang, they didn't go and cast actors. They actually went to all the clubs in LA and they cast bouncers because they wanted all of the Jamaican gang to be big, scary, and intimidating. Some of the Predators sounds, so the sounds that the Predators make, they recycled them from Tremors. They were sound bites.
I knew that. I didn't know that by fact, but there was a sound in this movie, and I was like, "That sounds like a grabber. That's weird."
Yeah.
He's way more high pitched screaming in this one. He's way more high pitched.
Yeah, a lot more high pitched. This is the first movie that Gary Busey done after he had his motorcycle accident that nearly killed him and that gave him the brain injury that he now suffers, and gave him sort of progressive brain damage. This is his first movie back. So he had that massive motorcycle crash that anyone who was of a certain age at the time would have remembered. And it was kind of like, everyone's like, Gary Busey's done. He's never coming back to film. And then he come back and done this. So yeah, good for Gary Busey. The Predators scene on the ship, there's a reel coming to our Instagram very soon at You Run Podcast, where I'm going to share this clip. So there's an outtake, and it's all around these predators. So while they were waiting for Danny Glover to get to set, they do a dance routine. So these predators come out of the shadows and they do a dance routine. And I worked out when I was creating the reel earlier, it fits beat for beat for all the single ladies. So there's predators dancing to all the single ladies, and it's an outtake of the movie. Final one. So when the predator gets to the slaughterhouse and Danny Glover unloads all those bullets and shoots him, and you get the blood packs exploding with the neon green and blood coming out. I want to ask you actually, Alex, because you do this for a living. If you wanted to create that luminescent goo of that consistency that bursts out of those blood packs, what would you use to make it? Because I was amazed when I found out what they made it out of.
It's like a glow stick and KY like kind of mixed together.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is.
Yeah, they just busted up glow sticks and mixed KY with it to give it that like goopy consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy to do. You could easily make predator blood at home.
Scott come in with this real bomb dropping fact, and you're just like, yeah, no, it's simple as fuck, man. It's just KY jelly and glow sticks.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, man, that's usually all it is in this game, man. Just sometimes it's like the simplest thing that you don't even think of, you know. But yeah, glow stick and freaking KY, man. It's predator blood.
Yeah, and it looks cool. And also now that I know that, I'm pretty sure when this episode comes out, there's going to be some predator blood on a reel somewhere, because I now know how to make it, so I have to make it. I'm that person. When someone goes, look, this is how you do it, I go, oh, you know, when you see these videos on like TikTok or Instagram, they're like, and you can do this and you can do that. A prime example, I saw this woman who done their daughter's hair, and it was like they do this and they do that, and like, when they pull the like pencil out of the hair, it all drops in this perfect like fanned like plait. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that with my daughter today. She left the house with a ponytail, but I tried. So at some point,
the ponytail with a pencil in it.
Exactly that. But I am going to try to do predator blood.
See, the one thing about the predator blood in this is like it looked very xenomorph-esque. Was it this green in the first movie?
Yeah.
It's even glowing. Yeah. It's even glowing in the first movie. They put like a
like I say, it was one of those things where I was like, that looks like they're trying to hone in on like the whole xenomorph thing, and I couldn't remember if it was that in the first movie.
The xenomorph blood's all like clear and acid, so like
it's green though, isn't it? It's green neon like this.
Yeah, it depends on which alien movie you're watching, right? Like
the early ones were just clear.
Yeah, it was just clear. And then AVP, it was like all green and like predator blood.
Yeah.
We don't talk about AVP on this podcast, even though AVP is probably better than Predator 2. Yeah, my boy Alex, you know.
On that note, get some voicemail.
Bring, you have a phone call. Answer now, please. Yours grateful, Alexander. Simples.
We received 3 voicemails this week. They're all from the same person, and they were all encouraged and egged on through our voice chat, our group chat between me, Mark, and Heather. So Heather called in.
So happy Monday, guys! Just listening to the American Werewolf in London. Oh, it just finished, and I'm not a fan of that movie, but you know, whatever. I don't like pretty much any werewolf movies. I think they're all kind of really stupid. And I do like American Werewolf in Paris. That one's pretty good. It's not, I don't know if I would even call it horror, but you know, whatever. I like it a little bit better. And Waxwork, the werewolf in that one's pretty cool. And Mark, you should watch Waxwork. Or is it Waxworks? Waxwork. Anyway, it's really good. It's an 80s movie. You probably have it on VHS. Who knows? Because you're obsessed with collecting VHS. But I wanted to say, I'm finding so much stuff out about you guys in this episode. You know, Scott likes to wear turtlenecks in the summer. And Mark, you used to be kind of a slut. kind of what you were implying. I can kind of see that. I can kind of see you have slutty eyes. So, I mean, I get that. And Scott, your turtleneck, I mean, all I got was like Austin Powers vibes. Also, your accent. Yeah, I think that's who you sound like almost. I don't know. It's been a long morning for me already. But as usual, you guys are awesome. And I just have to come and harass y'all whenever I get the chance. But yeah, I'm behind on the episodes too. I didn't listen to, is it Crawl? I haven't listened to that one yet. And it's just because my mind's been scattered. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Or y'all have had a great day because you're 6 hours ahead of me. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
Tell me you guys fucking heard it. Tell me you both heard it in that voice message, because I know where this is going, and if you didn't hear it...
So when Heather says wolf, Mark questioned Heather on her pronunciation of wolf, asking her if she said woof.
She said wolf, werewolf. What the fuck is a werewolf?
Well,
like, right, Alex, you're American. Is a werewolf? Is it a werewolf?
I've listened to enough episodes. I'm not having Heather come for me. Y'all, no.
Be brave. Be strong, Alex. You can do it. You can do it, Alex. Be brave.
Where she's from? Where's she? Louisiana, Texas, or something like that?
Texas. Yeah, she's Texan.
It's werewolf where she's at then.
Yeah.
It's werewolf?
Wolf.
Yeah.
Where she's at, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but like if you exclude it from the actual context of werewolf, and you saw a wolf, and you was like, oh, the wolves in Twilight, would you be like, the wolves in Twilight? Or is it just because you put it together with werewolf, and then you're like, werewolf, as in wolf like a dog? Like, does it work on its own? Does it work on its own? Like, oh, I saw a wolf the other day.
Well, Heather responded to this kind of abuse you gave her, and she said, she explained and gave... She said the word again, so we can listen again and determine whether it's wolf or woof.
I am saying werewolf. Werewolf? Now you're making me think that I'm saying it wrong, you fucking slut. Damn it.
Definitely saying it wrong. Even she doesn't know anymore, and I don't know either. I don't know whether this is a regional thing or what. I'm just curious to know whether it's... I'm just more curious to know whether if you take it out of the context of werewolf, not werewolf, and you just seen if you saw a standard wolf in the forest, would it just be a wolf? Oh, I saw this wolf the other day, or would you say I saw a wolf? But then when you put it together with a werewolf, is it a werewolf? Because it's two words together.
When you all call in this week to absolutely assassinate Mark for his opinions on this, end it with how you say wolf.
I already know I'm dead this week.
Yeah,
I'm riding the wave.
Oh, please, Heather, don't come for me. I tried.
See, I noticed also that Heather referred to Mark as having slutty eyes, which made me and Heather go on a tangent talking about hungry eyes. Hungry eyes. To which Heather then come up with a great idea, and this may be a permanent soundbite on the show.
You've got slutty eyes. One look and you can't close your thighs. You've got slutty eyes.
I mean, I'm proud of it, man. I have beautiful eyes. Very, very pretty, beautiful blue eyes.
Yeah, and this
they've got me places. They've got me places, guys.
Yeah, and this week, what you're going to have to do
Run
is
for cover, you dirty slut!
We put out it's kind of a caption, this, but it's kind of not. We put out this image this week and simply asked, what is Danny Glover aiming at with his futuristic, really backwards gun?
Is that gun, man?
It's gorgeous. Look at it. Big sight, laser sight. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
so
ridiculous.
What is he aiming at? Hey, Internet Eric here said he's aiming at David Gordon Green, and he is a YouTuber. Dissect That Film Pod said he's aiming at a retirement home because ain't he too old for this shit now? And they're a movie.
His walk would suggest so.
Dave B. Movie said he's aiming at The Rock for taking him into Jumanji. Lots of references.
Oh, I forgot he was in the. That's right. Danny Glover in Jumanji is really cool.
Yeah. BJ Mumbo and many others. There was lots of people who commented this, but BJ done it first. He's pointing his gun at Jigsaw because he also in the Saw.
I forgot he was in the Saw. Yeah, he's fucking dog shit in the Saw franchise as well, man. Danny Glover's fucking terrible, man. He is terrible, man. He's a fucking bad. If you want your movie to succeed in Hollywood, do not cast Danny Glover in it because he is a fucking sinking ship of all that is wrong. I love the Saw movie, especially the original movie, but every time Danny Glover is on scene in that film, I fucking hate it.
Which, just to contradict Mark's point, when we release this episode, I'm going to release the top 3 grossing Danny Glover movies, and I'm going to put them next to the top 3 grossing Halloween movies. Just to we have.
They're going to be Nuclear Weapon 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, definitely. That's all it's going to be. Yeah.
Eberus Queen said that Danny Glover is aiming his gun at me. She's a horror fan and photographer. We had a barrage of people who said he's aiming at Donald Trump, and I'm not touching that with a fucking barge pole. We had randomly Eric said he was sent from the future to kill his younger self, Donald Glover.
Who's Donald Glover? Is that the weird dude from Charlie's Angels sequel? More formally known as the guy from Back to the Future.
No, he's in that show Atlanta. Right,
yeah.
Donald Glover, isn't that?
Yeah.
Who's the guy from Back to the Future?
Is that Danny Glover? Donald Glover?
Yeah, that's
who's Marty McFly's dad in the original Back to the Future?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
oh
God.
That's Donald Glover, isn't it?
No,
he's a Glover, isn't he?
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover, there we go. He in Charlie's Angels movie where he smells the hair. That's a fucking weird, creepy dude, man. Anyway, sorry.
He's great in Willard too.
He's great.
Yes, Willem.
Yeah.
Is that the rat movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, we're at that time of the show.
Broken Spirit 2.0, making tears of people.
So it has been a little while since we've played this game. We obviously last month BP couldn't join us. The Horror Friendly Podcast have made this almost an unobtainable feat now, scoring 9 out of 10. But we're going to see how you do. There's 10 questions, 10 points per question. Every one you get right, you get 10 points. Anytime you can walk away with your points. Anything over 60 points will put you in second place. If you get an answer wrong, you lose all your points and you walk away with nothing and a badge of shame, just like Mark has.
No.
The quiz...
no, man. Why be that guy?
Why be the guy who hates Predator 2? The quizzes are themed, and today we've themed them around alien creatures and their movies. So this is every question in this is going to be something to do with not the Alien franchise, but aliens as a whole and that type of movie. So sci-fi, alien, horror. Alex, who do you want to ask you question number 1?
Alex, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I know what the questions are. I think question 1 is ridiculous. That's purely because I don't know it, so I don't want to be the one to ask you that question first. So please,
no matter who I pick, I'm getting that first. Give it to me, Scott.
No, I mean to you, you might know it instantly and be like, "Oh yeah, of course, it's blah, 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 blah." But for me, I looked at these questions. I was like, "That is fucking horrible."
Really? Okay, well,
yeah, I genuinely looked at these quiz questions and I was like, that is really nasty.
Okay. If I get it wrong, though, keep reading me the questions because I want to. Yeah, I know. I'll take my L. I'll take the L.
Yeah.
But continue reading me the questions just because I want to.
Yeah. If you get this wrong, I'll be amazed purely for the fact that we've mentioned this on the episode numerous times as well. So question number 1.
Yeah, fire away.
Who played the Predator in Predator 1 and Predator 2?
Kevin Peter Hall.
Correct.
I did not know that. Is that general horror knowledge?
Yes. Turn your back.
I was fully on your case, and I was like, Alex, mate, I swear to you, I had no involvement in this.
It's a hard question. That's a hard.
I think that's a really, really hard question, to be honest with you.
It's a great trivia question for sure. But
I don't feel like it's a suitable opening question to a quiz, if I'm honest.
I do. Well, Alex got it right, so it is.
Yeah, question number 2. Who directed Aliens?
Aliens.
James
Cameron.
That's correct. Well done.
2 for 2. What space-based movie from the year 2000 starred Vin Diesel?
My favorite movie of all time.
Space-based 2000. Was that Pitch Black?
That's correct. Well done.
That's nice. Those Riddick movies.
Question number. Oh man, they're so fucking good. Do you know what I don't like? I don't like the Chronicles of Riddick. I feel that's a really out of place sequel. But then they revert, and then you get Riddick, which is a really cool third movie. And I think we're going to get a fourth, hopefully sometime soon. Fingers crossed. But Chronicles of Riddick's a bit of a weird film.
Right. Let me present something to you. Just when you're watching this, you ever seen Ghost of Mars?
Yes, John Carpenter, classic. Ice Cube, Natasha Hendricks.
Yeah, take out Ice Cube's character and put Riddick in that situation.
That would be fucking awesome.
Oh wow,
that's a decent Riddick. All right,
definitely. Question number 4. What 2018 movie requires a character to stay silent to avoid being killed by aliens? I can repeat the question if you need.
Yeah. Go ahead. 2018, right?
What 2018 movie requires the characters to be silent to avoid being killed by aliens?
That one's Quiet Place.
That's correct. Well done.
Hey, doing well. 4 for 4. Question number 5. This will get you third on the leaderboard. What horror movie series depicts a female alien with the sole goal of reproducing with humans?
That is Natasha Henstridge in Species, right?
It is.
Boom. We already spoke about her in Ghost of Mars.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Question number 6. What movie would you associate the line "Swing Away, Meryl"? Is that Meryl? Am I reading that right?
Meryl, but it's pronounced in the movie Merle.
That is. I'm going to go with Signs on that one. That's that's at the end of
I haven't seen that movie in a long, long time. That's the only decent not J.J. Abrams, M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah. Although I like Split and Glass, and Unbreakable was pretty cool.
Unbreakable is fantastic, and I wish that I liked Split and Glass as much as I liked Unbreakable, but I feel like Split and Glass only ruined my enjoyment of Unbreakable.
You're just a pissy, miserable bitch.
I'm not being that guy. I'm just saying Unbreakable for me was like a fantastic movie, like unbelievably fantastic movie. I loved the darkness of the whole superhero-esque kind of story that he established in that film. But then he just pushed it too far, man. Like I watched Split. Split was a cool movie, but then he tied it in at the end with Bruce Willis sat in the diner. I was like, oh no, don't do it. Don't be that guy. And then he did Glass, and I was like, Glass is fucking dog shit, man. And now you just compromised everything I loved about Unbreakable.
Well,
they killed Bruce Willis in a puddle. They killed Bruce Willis in a puddle, man, and I'm pissed off about it.
That sucks. Yeah. Now that you reminded me of that.
Question number 7. What sci-fi horror would you associate the actors Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood, and the musical recording R&B artist Usher?
That is The Faculty. Robert Rodriguez classic.
Yeah, great movie.
I love that movie so much.
Have you guys done that one?
Not yet.
No. We haven't.
We do it right now, live. Put it on the show. The Faculty request.
There you go. Listener request. There we go. Let's do The Faculty, man. I fucking love that movie.
You're welcome.
Josh Hartnett has a weird haircut in that as well, man. That dude.
He's got a weird haircut and everything.
He has, but he's getting a resurgence at the minute. I think he deserves it. I've been championing that guy since Penny Dreadful. I've been like, yes, older Josh Hartnett, give him some fucking screen time.
Number 11, man. 30 Days of Night. Like,
I fucking love him. I think he's fantastic, man. He really deserves it. What are we on? Question number 8? Yep.
Yeah,
question number 8. What 2005 horror movie follows an astronaut?
No. Read it again. Not 2005.
Sorry. Mate, you know I have mild dyslexia. I'm trying to process numbers at the same speed as I'm trying to read the question. I'm doing my best. What 2025 horror movie follows an astronaut as she awakes on an alien planet to find her crewmates slaughtered?
Man, that's that movie that just came out, right?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Been out for about a month.
It's got what's his name, Aaron Paul in it, right?
Yeah,
and the woman from that ambulance, and she was in like King Kong as well. What is that movie called?
I feel like he's seen it, and I feel like it's unfair not to give him it because he knows the actors and he knows the movie inside out.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen trailers and ads for it, and I'm like, man.
It's really good. I'll give you a clue. The title is 3 letters long.
Yes.
And it begins with an A, and that's all you're getting.
Oh man, is it Axe?
Close.
What am I at? What am I like? Where am I at on the leaderboard?
This is question number 8.
Question number 8. So if you walked away, you'd leave with 70 points, which would put you in second. Joint second.
But you're so close, so I don't feel like you should walk away from this question.
Give me... Oh, I know you're going to hit me with that countdown. It starts with an A. It's 3 letters.
What is the name of the robot in the original Alien movie?
Oh.
I can't fucking hand it more to you on a silver platter.
Axel.
No.
Right? No.
His name is also 3 letters long that begins with an A.
What is the character called from Evil Dead? Fuck off, Alex.
Oh my god, it's Ash.
Correct.
Ash. There we go.
Correct.
What did I say?
You're on the
Right, you got no more lifelines from me from now on out. I fucking went above and beyond to give you that.
Oh man, that was bad.
It's 3 letters long and it begins with A. Axel. No, it's not Axel.
No.
You've already said Axel up until that point, and I said no, that was the incorrect answer.
Yeah, but I don't know what I was on. I was on something there. I was on a wavelength far away from Ash.
Too much credit too, man.
We got there though.
Question number 9.
All right.
If you get this right, you are tied with the Horror Friendly Podcast.
Oh boy!
I've just read question number 9.
Yeah. Can you name 2 synthetics from the Alien franchise?
Oh man. Well, yeah, Ash, I guess.
That's one. It's really clever how all these questions tie together, isn't it?
Yeah, and then what's his name? David.
Yeah,
isn't that his name?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Prometheus?
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, you could have also had Bishop, Cal, who was Winona Ryder. You could have had David, Walter, Andy, or Rook. Because Andy,
the whole David Walter thing was the best thing about fucking Alien Covenant, man. I wish we'd have got a trilogy sequel to that.
David.
But yeah, you are on the final question. If you get this right, you'll be the first person to break Broken Spirit 2.0.
Oh boy. Here we go.
No pressure. No pressure.
No
it's me who's got to deliver the question, which me
is
luck.
It's the longest question. As
I
well.
just looked at it and noticed as well. This is a fucking essay of a question, right? Including silence, please, in the court. including the AVP movies and excluding any animated features, how many movies do the Alien and Predator franchise have in total? Right, I'm going to simplify that question just because that'll just fucking blag my mind. How many Alien and Predator movies are there in total, excluding any animated features?
Okay. I say Aliens 3.
Just remember we're on a podcast as well, so vocal acknowledgement of this would be appreciated.
Covenant, Prometheus. What's the one that just came out? I've already forgot the name of it, but it was pretty good. Because
Romulus. I'm not giving you clues. I'm just telling you. You know the movie, so I'm just giving you the name.
It's there. And then
so how many you got for the Alien franchise?
I got 7 so far.
Let me just check myself.
Okay, Aliens, Alien 3, Resurrection. I don't remember the 4th one. And then you got Covenant, Prometheus, Romulus, and then Predator 2, and then you got AVP 1, and then you got Requiem, and then you got Prey, and you got Predators, and then The Predator,
How many does that give you?
14.
So your final answer?
Are you going to go with that, or are you going to walk away joint second?
Just bear in mind, if you get this wrong, you will end up with 0 points.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's a safe place. I'm there with you. 14 sounds like a confident number, though. You seem pretty confident in your answer. You seem to dissect that pretty well.
Alien 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 14 of them, man. And then are we including Badlands?
No, because they haven't come out yet.
Not out yet.
Okay. Oh man, I don't want to gamble and go. I'm tied for first right now.
You're tied for first right now.
You are. But it's a risk. It's a risk worth taking. If you just take second place, what's second place, man? And 0 is just going to bring you back down with me. You could take that and you could ride out second place till the end of the season.
You're a bad influence. You just want him to join.
No, because I have a mindset where if I'm playing a quiz, I'm seeing the quiz through and I'm being a champion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You, Alex, I can see it in you. I'm like the Raiden of this situation. And I see potential in you and I see you can go all the way. You just have to trust in yourself and believe in the situation. Do it, man. Be confident. Feel the confidence within you.
Romulus. Predator 2. Predators. The Predator. Prey. AVP. AVP Requiem. 14, final answer. I guess. 14, final answer. Let's go for it.
Okay, you're going to go with 14?
Yeah, might as well. Why not? If I get this wrong, I get to come back on later on and redeem myself.
100%. You deserve. Okay. If you are ballsy enough to take the final question and go for it, if you get it wrong, you deserve a chance of redemption.
I just don't know if I'm missing one. You know,
it will probably be a me versus you situation. I'll be honest with you, but you deserve that redemption either way.
You've gone for it. I'm going to give you one last chance to change your mind before I push the button of yes or no.
Do it, man. Be brave.
Yeah.
Be brave, Alex. This is just a fucking podcast, man. Who gives a shit? Just do it.
Right? I'm like, it's like the $64,000 question. You know?
We don't have a prize pot at the end of it. You know what I mean? It's just a fucking title on a show. Just get it.
Just go. Yeah.
Okay. So you've gone with 14 as your final answer.
Yeah, final answer.
I
say I don't like cricket. Oh no.
Hey!
I love it.
Well done, Trap.
Well done. Your calculations were 100% perfect. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus Covenant, Romulus, AVP Requiem that we must never speak of, Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator, and then Prey. And then obviously we've got Badlands and we've got the other animated one coming this year as well. Congratulations. You are the first person to break Broken Spirit. You are top of the leaderboard. And yeah, the only option for other people now is to join first for the rest of the year. No one's going to take that title from you. Yeah, well done.
Congratulations, sir. It was a well-deserving champion.
And it's the first time ever that a guest has broken Spirit or any quiz, and it's not been left to Marc to do.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, I'm a bit disappointed that you've taken away the sort of whole bravado that I have, that I'm the only one to destroy these quizzes. But hey, a worthy champion nonetheless. Welcome to the elite club, Alex.
Nice.
Well, I'm happy to share it with such an elite player.
The air is good up here, you know. It's a lot cleaner.
It is. It's fresh. It's fresh up here, man.
Speaking of fresh, it's time to hand over to handovers and end of the show roundups. We're going to start with Marc. So, Marc, would you like to, in the most cohesive and abbreviated way that you can, round up Predator
2? Right, guys.
If you're watching, okay. there is a disclaimer at the bottom of the screen that explains that we feel it is important that we apologize for Marc's outrageous opinions on this week's movie. We do not endorse or agree with his comments and pray that God has mercy on his soul.
I feel like by the end of this episode, most people are going to in line with my theories and my opinions on this movie because it's dog shit. So let's just start off with the basic facts that this is a sequel to one of the greatest action movies of all time. Going from that, you've now introduced Danny Glover as a lead character of your movie, who I've already stipulated many times throughout this episode is incompetent to carry a movie in his own right, regardless of that be action, horror, or anything adjacent. This guy is weak and subpar and doesn't deserve to be a titled character, therefore leading to investment that I didn't have in him from the start, or any subpar characters and the characters that are adjacent to him throughout this movie. The only person that I cared about from start to finish was a Predator, and that was not the intention of this film. Secondly, I don't think that the direction was up to scratch. I feel like there was many shot choppy editing techniques throughout. I don't feel like there was filmed and angled from a certain perspective that would have made this movie highlight the action sequences, highlight the kill sequences, or draw any sort of tension that felt valuable towards a Predator movie. Thirdly, I want to say that the characters alone, Danny Glover, is subpar detective person who turned out to be some sort of fucking second-degree character in not only The Walking Dead, but the second-degree theories of what's that other one that there was in The Walking Dead? The Kneeling Dead. We'll go with that. I can't remember the name of that fucking shit TV series that followed on from it. He was shit. The guy who fucking had the church and all the rest of it in that other fucking subpar series. He was shit. He deserved to die. Buttered Sausage deserved to die. Right? Fuck you, Scott. This I ain't finished. This Buttered Sausage guy, he was shit. I fucking hated him. They brought him back at the end for no particular reason. Practical effects in this movie were actually quite decent. They look really, really good, and I think there was an upgrade on the CGI from the first film that I liked a lot. There were certain elements that they interjected and enhanced from the first movie that was really, really cool. I think the biggest failures of this movie come from the fact that this was set in a urban area as opposed to a jungleistic setting. The characters let it down. The overall inclusion of amplified gang nature, especially enhancing on the Jamaican community within this movie, was not only unrelevant and I don't know, I don't want to go into a whole war path about fucking cultural appropriation and all the rest of it, but I feel like in terms of the way that the times roll and what was relevant in the media of those times, this was a movie that jumped on those sort of stereotypes, and I didn't like it. I didn't think it was appropriate. I didn't think it resonated with me in any particular way. I don't think the tone throughout this movie knew what it was and where it was supposed to go. There was moments of interjected humor that didn't land with me and made me throw my whole viewing experience from one sort of high octane action segment to a stupid sort of splatter kind of humanized slapstick element that just didn't sort of balance right. Like, there was no consistency throughout this movie where I felt like I was there for the ride and I was enjoying the momentum that I was on. And I think a lot of movies where you establish in the opening credits the kind of film that you're about to sit down and experience, and then you waver within that mindset from start to finish. This movie was interjecting so many different variables throughout that there was no comfort zone, because every time you felt like you were in a particular zone, it just switched up that and turned it into something else that wasn't relevant or was a massive tonal switch from what you were watching previously in the first couple of minutes. In terms of highlights, I really, really like the closing act in this movie. I loved the injection of Predator lore that we didn't get in the first movie. I feel like this expanded something that was really insightful and really intriguing within the character, but the actual Predator himself and how he handled this particular battle, if you will, in terms of gladiatorial law, because that's what this movie is about. It's about the Predator fighting the best of the best, which is something that was perfectly executed in the first Predator movie. This movie, it wasn't.
I'm dreading
Danny Glover was a character of, I don't know whether they injected Danny Glover because he was something of a hype man at the time in Hollywood when this movie came out, so they thought, we'll use him. And again, this is maybe because he was the hype man of the black community at the time. And I don't raise this guy in any stretch of the imagination, but I just feel like as a Hollywood sort of vision, he was the one that everybody was sort of clawing towards in that moment. But I don't feel like he was a strong enough actor to carry this film in particular. And I feel like he was the one that let this situation down. I didn't believe in his heroism of this film. I feel like there's a lot of things that he could have done better. And I feel like there's things throughout that I'm just very underwhelmed by, in particular, especially the closing act where he just fucking pulls out a spear out of concrete. You know, it's just like, there was one scene as well, man, that we didn't touch upon this review, where Danny Glover, they spent so much time focusing on finding this spear of destiny that the Predator threw at him on top of the fucking tower block, and he pulls it out of this AC system as if he's going to take down the Predator and stab him in the heart with it, and all he does is just fucking rugby tackles him off the side of the building. Like, what was the build-up? What was the tension for? Like, the script is terrible. This is the most poorly written movie I've ever experienced in my life. I hate it. I hate Predator 2. It is a damaging film for the Predator franchise, which hence why this movie never continued past this film until we got Alien vs. Predator. It's shocking. It's shocking. And I understand the nostalgia approach that many people have towards this film. I don't want to argue with you on that. I'd spent many movies growing up what I watched with my father late night, and advert relevant TV shows where you had to wait 15 minutes and you got that random fucking ad break where you had to watch the 10 o'clock news and then your film would continue half an hour later. This is that kind of movie that I appreciate. Most people sort of look back and be like, oh, I remember watching that late night on TV. But watching it now, 2025, first ever watch of Predator 2, fuck me, man, this film is dreadful. This is the worst film that I've watched in a long, long time. And I say that with strong justification and strong meaning and strong passion. I hated it. I'm insulted that this is a Predator sequel. Fuck your sound bites and fuck your monologue, Scott. This is the worst movie that I've seen in a very, very long time. This gets 0.5 out of 5 for me. I hate Predator 2.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Following that, we had the please make sure you leave your comments on YouTube and Spotify banner rolling for the whole time. And Mark hung his head while he done it, so he didn't have to look at the the warning for his review.
I didn't want to look at either of you while I went on that rant because I knew I could do it.
Alex, could you give us a more sensible roundup than Marc did, please?
Okay, yeah, sure. I like this movie. Is it a bad movie? Yeah. But do I like it? Yeah. This Predator is like I was saying, is probably the worst. I'm not going to say he's my least favorite Predator because they've come out with some really terrible ones. Since like the ones in The Predator, they're like
the Predator.
Like, the one that's like 40
Surely
feet
that's
tall.
not worse than Predator 2.
Yeah, it is.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Which one is it? Which one is it? They've got Morpheus hiding in a like a bandit ship on the ground. Which one's that?
That one's Predators, the one where they're on like the big game planet, the Adrian Brody one.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool. I love that movie.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot. Compared to Predator 2 for sure. Yeah, Predator 2 it's basically like, okay, we're watching like a down the line action movie, like a run of the mill cop action movie taking place in LA. It's almost like take the Predator out of it. It's almost a Lethal Weapon sequel with just you don't have rigs, you know what I mean? But
and that's the thing. That's what this movie feels like. It feels like it's two separate scripts. It feels like there is a Predator script and then there is a fucking action cop buddy movie, and they've just combined the two in studio.
Yeah, like they put the Predator in a cop movie. You know what I mean? Like a cop action movie. Works in some parts, doesn't work in others because, like I said, he's got like teleportation powers in some parts. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't think they were taking this movie seriously because if you even watch the ads for it, like go watch the 30-second teaser for it, all three of them, the tagline is like, he's in town with a few days to kill. Like that's the tagline. Yeah. So
we don't need Dev. We don't need Dev, Alex. That was fucking awesome.
Well, there you go. Like that was the tagline for this. You know what I mean? So like, and then they show like Danny Glover for like a shot of it. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think they were putting all of it on Danny Glover. They were putting it all on the Predator for this one because, you know, they show you like 7 or 8 of them at the end. And then they go on to give all of them like their own backstory and lore in the comic books and stuff like that. To me, this is the best the Predator ship looks. Love how like just hot and just because, you know, they come in the hottest parts of the year, you know, and like the ship just looks like it would just be excruciating to be in. But then you get to the AVP and all that, and they have like the sleek looking, you know, ships and stuff, and they just completely abandon the design. So I love the Predators like lore and stuff in this one and how it world builds and opens up so much more stuff. But as far as the Predator in this one, I don't like him. I think he's dumb. Everybody sees him every chance. You know what I mean? Even little kids see him. He's not a good hunter. He could have taken out Danny Glover within the first 5 minutes of this movie, but instead he decides to like stalk him like Michael Myers for a while. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm right in the middle on this one again, although I will sway a little bit farther on one side of the fence and give it a 4 or a 3 instead of a 2.5. Give it a 3. Just because
you went from a 2.5 to a 4, like that's a big jump, man.
Not a 4. I did my math wrong there.
Let's get the math right. Let's just establish this score. Right. Do you know what I mean? You're a fucking reigning champion now on Broken Spirit. Let's get this in place. What is your score on Predator?
We're getting it there. It's a 3. It's a 3 for me.
Oh, Alex, I had high hopes for you. I thought you were the man.
Pushes it that much farther over there for me. Just from seeing it as a kid and discovering it through TV first and being like, what is this? You know what I mean? And then like, you know, just that nostalgia pushes it over for me. But yeah, it's, you know, it's Predator 2, man. You know, it is what it is.
Now for the complete flip side, we've had one end of the spectrum, we've had the middle end of the spectrum. Now we're going to get the other end of the spectrum. I love this.
Don't do it.
I love the switch to the urban landscape. For me, this very much feels like watching Seven with a Predator there. It's got that kind of Seven-esque vibe where they're investigating the crimes and it's all these gruesome crime scenes. And then you've got the Predator interjected into that. And I like that. I think the casting is solid. I think Danny Glover does a fucking stand-up job in this movie. And I think Gary Busey, considering I'm not a big Busey fan, in this, he absolutely puts in a shift. And I think his performance as the antagonist arsehole, he's more of a villain than the Predator. Now, I was apprehensive when I put this on because I haven't watched this for a very, very long time. So last time I watched this was probably like 15, 16. So I put this on with a very much like, I remembered there was a scene with boobs and I remembered the end fight. And that was about all I remembered from the teenage watch of this. And I was really pleasantly surprised. I had a blast watching this again. I kind of have no words for the level of hatred that Marc has. And I'm going to let you...
You are the first person I've ever heard hate this movie. Like, ever.
Yeah. And I'm not going to call Marc out on his opinions. Like, that's not how this show works. This is the You Run podcast. And you can send voicemails to us on Instagram and X by pushing the record button in a DM. And feel free to share with Marc your opinions on his opinion. This, for me, gets a well-earned and, in my opinion, well-deserved 4.5 out of 5. It is in the top three Predator movies. It goes Predator, and I can't work out whether I put Prey next or I put Predator 2 next. Either of those can flip between those. In fact, the top three, depending on my mood and depending on which one I watched last, will interchange in those positions. I love this movie. I think it's great. And yeah,
fucking idiot. I mean it. I mean that strongly as well. We're supposed to be a well-respected podcast, and you're coming in with that bullshit, man.
There's no way this one's better than the first one. There's no way.
No, not even a question. There's no way this is better than Alien versus Predator, in my opinion. This is fucking dog shit.
Marc,
I'm so angry at you right now, Scott.
I'm in danger.
That is it for this. Before we go, can you let everyone know where we can find you, what you do? Like, tell us your pitch. Your movie is Elevator Pitches. This is your pitch. Pitch away.
All right, yeah. So you can see me, find me on social media, AMPFX Studios, and then like Scott said, I have Elevator Pitches that's on YouTube right now, so you can go watch it. It's free for everybody to watch right now. And then, yeah, I've just been working on shows and stuff like that. I recently got to I've been doing this for, over a decade now, and finally got to do something for the first time, which was pretty cool. I got to do a blowhole effect. That's not really spoilery. I can say that. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, just trying to make it. Currently writing a young adult novel. It's called The Doll from Under the Bed. It's about a little demonic killer doll because I love little tiny terror type, puppet master type horror. I love those movies. If you ever do those movies, hit me up.
We did the first, man. It fucking broke me,
didn't.
I'll be honest.
We've never done it. You watched it and reviewed it, but we've never done it on the show.
Oh, did we not do that on the show? I just remember being mentally scarred by that first film.
I love. Is it?
They're terrible, but I love them.
Is it the Last Reich or the Return to the Last Reich?
That's
I think
the
it was
third one. Yeah.
I think it was like 2. Yeah, that when they went back to it, when they'd done like the rebirth of Puppet Master, like that first movie, I absolutely loved. Like Blade in that is an absolute boss.
Yeah, honestly, I'm about to tear my microphone off, man. You guys are pissing me off royally tonight. I swear to God, you guys are fucking annoying the shit out of me.
Those movies are gold.
We've gone from liking Predator 2 to worshipping the Puppet Master franchise. I don't even know what we are anymore.
Hey, man. Freaking, what was it? Full Moon Entertainment? I love all those movies. Wait, you just did Castle Freak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. That was the one that I was like, yeah, this is the most high production value that this Full Moon Entertainment's ever seen.
Probably. But yeah, you can find me on AMPFX Studios. Just check it out. I'll be posting, pictures of my work and stuff whenever I can, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So go and
Awesome.
check Alex out. Like, his account is genuinely really cool. And Alex is such a super nice guy as well. We have loads of people come on this show, and the majority of them are really nice. But Alex sits in the echelon of people that I talk to when he's not on the show. So me and Alex will message back and forth. Like, I'll put a poll up and Alex will message me, or Alex will post something. And I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. Like, Alex is one of those people that I talk to because he's genuinely a nice guy. So go and follow him, go and support him, because he's fucking great at his job. And he's a really nice person. And they are fucking difficult to find on social media. They really,
and he's a
really
Raiding Broken Spirit champion, which is something that is also very hard to find. Me and you, brother.
Next week, we are going to be back. And next week, we're going to be playing with one of these as we open up the Hellraiser franchise, but we open up a new version of the Hellraiser franchise as we look at Hellraiser from 2022.
I don't know how many bad movies in a row I can take. I'll be honest with you. It's testing my patience, man, this show. It really is.
Look, next week's going to be great. It's going to make you come because it's kinky. So stick around for that. But until then, have a wonderful week. We'll catch you all really soon. And again, I apologize for Mark's outrageous behavior on this episode.
I feel like there's going to be floods of support in terms of me. I'm going to be like, I'm really the Nigel Farage of the Uran podcast.
Right, on that note, on Mark's delusion, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
You want to die tonight?
Jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. You run podcasts, horror movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning.